What's up? And welcome back to another Humbledad podcast. This week, I have continued to look at the Den of Kings and recap what is going on in the space of men's mental health in this particular section that we're going to review. The question that was asked by Kurt Franklin was, what do women really need to know about how men think, feel, and heal? And from the pressure to be strong to the silent struggles no one sees, this conversation peel back the mask. So, ladies, gentlemen, I would like the ladies to listen closely, and fellas, you might just hear your story and being told. So, let's dive into what every woman needs to know about her men's mental health. And on this particular vantage point, I want to do the recap here. So, take a listen.
To say to all of y'all that I really do respect and appreciate this moment to have with you. And I want to know from all of you, what can we say to the women watching? They may have a man in their life that may be dealing with these issues. How do they help their kings get to a place and a journey of being whole and healthy?
We just need someone to listen. I think that would be the most important thing. Like,
That's so good.
Sometimes we need people to just listen to what we have to say. Like, just women are security. They want to feel secure. So we have to be able to provide them with enough security to the point where they're willing to understand and listen. We just got to be of service. It goes both ways. And we got to know when to dribble the ball and also when to pass it. So, I feel like this whole conversation, man, was dope. You know what I mean? Wow. I feel like then nobody hold back, and there's gonna be a lot of moments to where, people may say, I don't agree with this or I agree with that, but at the end of the day, we're doing God's work by talking about it. You know what I mean? And that's all that matters. And, I appreciate you, brother, for using your platform to bring me upon, what I'm saying, and sit at this table with great people. You know what I mean? So,
and thank you for trusting me.
Yeah, man. Thank
you. Now, this is a good part that I think people kind of take for granted, and that is that listening to a man's heart, listening to him explain to you what is going on with him mentally will really catapult your relationship to a place that you probably didn't know that it could go to. So that's a really good way to start out as it relates to the listening aspect. And if you go back and watch, you'll see and hear the things that men battle with. And so as men battle with this mental health situation, then the question becomes, as the woman being in that space, listening to what he has to say, and then later on, do not bring that up to throw that in his face, because if you throw it in his face, then you've lost all trust that man is willing to give you here on out. So let's take a listen to what the other gentleman said.
Thank you.
I was just going to say to the women part, and I can only speak to my wife, she never weaponized my vulnerability.
Right.
And I think that I'm not even a tough street dude or anything like that, but I also never wanted to appear weak in front of my wife.
Yeah.
And that's what my, military brat, it's all orders and, sharp corners and stuff. Like, my dad did not cry. He didn't, what I'm saying? He never seemed weak to me ever. He cried one time, but it was his dad passed away. But the point is, I never saw that. So when my wife was like, I remember when I first opened up, I'm just giving you a little piece to see if you gonna in 2 weeks be like, yeah, remember when you was crying? You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what men do. We give you a little bit to see how you handle the response that I just gave you.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah, but I think that happens. In a lot of relationships.
It does happen to some men.
Yeah, yes. And then you will never ever get the version of him that you could have got. Yeah, and I think my wife, God bless her, she has allowed me, and with each safety, it allowed me to be more vulnerable with her. Yeah. To now, if she were to ever, to be vulnerable is to leave yourself open to attack. So now I'm so vulnerable with her, she could do irreparable harm if she wanted.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's why we love her.
And that's
why we love her.
and because she could and doesn't, we're able to reach a level of love that you can only have if you are truly vulnerable. And she is with me. It's not a one-way street, but I think it's easier for women to be vulnerable, more easy than it is for men.
And it hides the intimacy.
And it hides the intimacy as well, because you like, and that I said this in another podcast, like people often ask me why I don't cheat. Brother, I'm not getting that. Like, do you understand the value of somebody that you can trust to fall asleep, like just to fall asleep? Like sometimes you can't even fall asleep. They get pictures of you sleep. Like, what piece could if I can't even fall asleep? If my picture is valuable, like we can't have any trust or relationship if I can't even
think about that. If I cannot fall asleep and you take a picture of me just to put it online, what type of trust do we have? But notice that he said exactly what I said prior. If I give you the inner parts of me from a spiritual and a psychological and a mental perspective, and you say, remember when you told me that you used to be cuddled up whenever you cuddled up like a little baby when the situation would happen? I knew you was a weak dude. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff will get you in the no player zone, meaning that you have crossed the boundary that I'm not willing for you to even have the opportunity to cross again, unless that guy is willing to be, kind of transparent with you and forgive you, and you have to rebuild that trust again. Because for men, the part that is the weakest for us is you knowing our weakness. Because as Kevon Stage stated, we do not want to appear, well, he doesn't want to appear weak, but men in general don't want to be appear weak, because it's been told to us that we men, what it looks like is a guy that cries, a guy that complains, a guy that struggles. He is supposed to be this undeniable, unfazed resolve at all times. Like he doesn't supposed to have any particular flaws. They're looking for Superman, but even Superman had kryptonite. So what I'm saying is that once the guy gives you information, treat it as gold. And when you do, you will have something that most women won't be able to get. And as he said, the women use whatever it is to their advantage when they're losing an argument, or they're wanting to win an argument, or they feel some type of way in that moment. They'll use what you said against you. Not all women. Women will do that. That does happen, and that's the fear that he's referring to. Let's see who's next. And by the way, Ray J has left by this point.
Trust you that
That's beautiful.
I can't fall asleep. She was with me like every day, highs, lows. I remember I didn't even know what vulnerability meant. She was like, I want you to be able to share your fears with me. I remember telling her, how can I share my fears with you if I don't share my fears with myself?
Wow.
I don't face my fears. So I cannot tell you them, because if I acknowledge them, they're now real.
Wow.
But she, after 10, 15 years of marriage, you needed that to continue to go. Surface stuff, that's not going to get you 21 years of marriage.
Yeah.
You can't be on the surface for 20 years.
Yeah.
Eventually, you want more, or there's nothing left.
Yes.
So I think to answer you in a shorter way is not weaponizing vulnerability allows your man, your husband or boyfriend to be more vulnerable, and therefore you can come back that way.
Doc, what about you?
I would say.
You know what, Doc? I want you to go last. I want you to close. Who didn't go? Did you go?
I'll just speak from what. Oh, I've been so happy. I think being present, that's a big thing, and also kind of reflecting back to us what it is they see. Because she can tell me I'm tired before I know I'm tired. And she can see that I'm uneasy before I know I'm uneasy, you know, and the way I'm just gonna speak about my relationship, my marriage, the way she can coach me through. Wow. And I've given her that vulnerability, right? I'm a highly coachable husband. You know what I mean? You know, I go, tell me what it is. Okay, that's the play. I got it. You know, sometimes I get to run it my way and do it by the book, you know, and I go, okay, cool. You know, and yeah, she's my helpmate, you know, and I'm her helpmate, you know, and we talk about holding somebody down, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like, you know, holding his hand, walking through the courtroom. That's part of it. But the other part is,
which is phenomenal, by the way, for her to be a woman that is willing to rise with her man. I wonder what that conversation was like when he introduced himself to her, or vice versa, because she knew she had to know the situation because it was so public about him being involved with this other woman and this court case going on, and she still stood by his side publicly. That is impressive and incredible. And he saw that as loyalty, and that loyalty bonded him to see this woman is someone that I'm willing to listen to, because why? I see she has my best interest at heart. And if you're not a woman that can see your man's and see the best of him and want to see him be at his best, and you cannot see how you can function in being that helpmate for him to be better, then you are in the wrong relationship. And I would challenge you to either get yourself right mentally to say, I see the best in him, and I'm going to help him get to where he needs to be, whether that's through coaching, whether that's through sending him something, whether that is introducing him to someone, whether that's praying for him, being his peace, being a listening ear. Whatever the play calls for, you are that utility tool, if you will. That's my thoughts.
You got to get up. You know what I mean? You know, she clearly understands the mission.
Yeah.
And she supports the mission.
Yeah.
And she pushes the man. And
that's good.
As men, it's like having a training partner. You're pushing me to be better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I fall, you say, okay, I'm all right. Let's go again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I speak to that real quick? My wife did that to me, and I'll tell you what it was.
It's the dopest shit.
It's the best. Like the best. It unlocked a new level of love for her. I was talking about my next tour, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do these church jokes that I've done because tour had done well, and I'm like, I can run these old jokes. I'm talking about from when I was like 18, 20. And I'm like, yeah, we do the churches again. Listen, it's gonna be blah blah blah. It'll be great. And she looked me dead in my face and was like, you're better than that. Yep. She was like, you can go into the lab and dig deeper and work harder and be better than that. And she was like, you do this, you're taking the easy way out.
That's right.
And I was like, how could you say this to me? Yeah. Like, how could you challenge me this way? And as a creative, I knew way back in my mind when I was thinking of it, this is easy, Kev. But I would never acknowledge that. Right. Mm-hmm. And she looked at me dead and she said, you can be better. And I want you to be better.
I've had that chat too, boy.
And I'm like, nobody on earth could ever do that, because nobody even knows those jokes from 20 years ago. And nobody else would care. If you work,
they see the man you are going to be.
Right.
They speak to that.
And they speak to Melissa. She's Melissa.
She's speaking to that.
She's speaking to, and like, what a blessing. Yeah. Somebody see your best self and speak when you are too afraid. Yeah. She was like, if it takes she was like, if it takes you a year of practicing, take the year. and be the best you can be. You remember why you,
win.
bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, that's like, and
Yeah.
that's why people like, why you don't cheat? It's like, bro, I'm not getting that. Why would I waste that? Like, you know how valuable that to see the best in you for.
And then how crazy is it for somebody to ask why you don't cheat? It seems like you should not cheat. Like, what do you mean? However, I understand, I could understand the premise of not cheating because the reason. I guess the flip side, he would say that if somebody, one of the reasons why men cheat is that they're not getting something that is helping them move forward to becoming their better self. However, it makes more sense to just leave if you're not getting the best part of what it is that you need from that woman. And so, altogether, when I'm communicating through watching this video, I was like, man, this is some good stuff right here. Now, what is needed from this time forward is I'm asking women to take a listen and review this video to see if you are being this type of person. Are you being this type of woman for your man? And I also want men to listen to this, but also see if their woman is doing this for them. And if she is, congratulate her on that, celebrate with her on that. And if she's not, then I challenge you to send this to her and let her know this is what I would aspire for you to have for me. And if it's a part that I'm missing, to be able to get that with you, please allow me to know that, because that's a part of what kings do, men of God do. We are supposed to be individuals that are able to adapt to adapt to what's going on in our circumstance. But however, we need that partner with us to help us with the adaptation of what's going on. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Also, I have a grief journal that I just wrote. It's called My Grief Journal, my journey through grief, and it's on Amazon. So take a look at that. And also, don't forget to go watch the previous video where I talk about how grown men don't listen. And until next time, we out here. Deuces.